So, what if the very words you speak, the language you think in, aren't just for communication? What if they're part of a program, a code designed to control us? It's a pretty wild idea, right? Well, today we're diving into a text that makes exactly that claim, arguing that our reality is, in fact, a carefully built illusion. We're going to break it all down, step by step. The whole thing kicks off with a feeling I think we can all relate to, that feeling of being stuck in a loop. You wake up, you battle traffic, you work, you come home, you go to sleep, and then you do it all over again. The author points out that for a lot of us, it feels just like that movie Groundhog Day. And this isn't just some random observation, it's the launchpad for the entire theory. And here's where it takes a sharp turn. The text poses this really provocative question. What if that feeling of monotony, that endless loop, what if it's not a bug in the system? What if it's a feature? What if it was designed that way on purpose?
That question leads us right into our first section, which looks at this whole experience as a kind of glitch, a crack in the facade of what we call reality.
So according to this text, that Groundhog Day feeling is a massive red flag. It's a symptom of what the author calls a degraded state. The idea is that the daily grind, all the distractions, the endless cycle, it's all part of a system that's been built specifically to keep us from realizing what's really going on. Okay, so if you accept that premise, even for a second, it brings up a huge question. If our world is some kind of construct, then who built it? Who are the architects pulling the levers behind the curtain? Let's pull back that curtain. Our next section gets into who the source claims these unseen architects really are. And get ready, because the list is pretty extensive. The source really casts a wide net here. It starts with the kind of groups you might expect, secret societies, powerful global elites that are called the unseen hand. But then it goes way deeper. We're talking about fallen angels, the Nephilim, which are described as these giant-like humanoids in ancient texts, and even demigods and beings from other dimensions, all supposedly working together in some kind of cosmic hierarchy. Now, to connect these pretty abstract ideas to our world, the text gives some specific examples. It claims that you can see the influence of these groups in plain sight, if you know where to look. Things like awards given to major historical figures, the fact that many presidents are allegedly initiated into these societies, and even symbols worn by powerful people in the media. So if those are the architects, what's their main tool? What is the software, the actual master program that they use to keep this whole complex system up and running without anyone noticing? And this brings us to what is, for me, the most fascinating and unique argument in the entire text. The source claims the master program isn't some super advanced tech or ancient magic. No, it's something we all use every single day, without a second thought. It's language itself. The author coins this term backwards to explain it. The theory is that our languages have been twisted and engineered. Words are supposedly built, and sometimes even spelled backwards, to sneak in hidden meanings and vibrations that quietly shape how we think and what we feel. Here's the prime example used to illustrate this. Take the Spanish word for love, amor. Now, if you spell that backward, you get Roma, as in Rome. The argument is that this isn't a coincidence, but a deliberately embedded link to a historical power structure, hidden within a word for one of our most powerful emotions. And the theory goes even deeper than just whole words. It suggests that even individual sounds can be encoded. The author points to the letter S. Think about that hissing sound. And then look at this list of words. Sly, sneaky, sick, serpent, Satan. This is presented as evidence that our language is hard-coded to create negative associations without us even realizing it. So, why? Why would anyone go to all this trouble to create this incredibly elaborate system of control through language? Well, the text argues it's not just about power for power's sake. There's a prize at the center of it all. It's a war for consciousness. This quote really gets to the heart of the matter. The ultimate resource, the real treasure that all these forces are after, is the human soul. And notice the clever wordplay here. The war is being fought inside our mind, which is also a mine for this spiritual gold. The way the author tells it, what we're experiencing is just the latest battle in a very, very old silent war. It describes these epic, prehistoric conflicts between legendary civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria, and all these other non-human groups, all fighting for control over humanity's spiritual core. But the story doesn't end there.
in this dark, controlled reality. The text claims we're actually at a major turning point, which leads us to our final section, the choice to awaken.
According to the source, the program is starting to fail. The illusion is developing cracks. We're supposedly moving into a new era, a time of a huge cosmic and vibrational shift. And that shift is giving us a once-in-a-civilization opportunity to wake up.
So, how do you do it? How do you break free? The text lays out a pretty clear path. Step 1. You have to recognize the illusion, to see the Groundhog Day loop for what it is. Step 2. Understand the code, how language is shaping you. Step 3. Shift your focus to your spirit, realizing you're more than just your physical body. And finally, step 4. You have to make a choice, to ride this new wave of awakening or to hit the snooze button and stay in the program.
And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. Whether you buy into this whole theory or just see it as a wild story, it does force you to ask a pretty powerful question. In a world drowning in information and words, what's the code that's shaping your reality? And maybe, just maybe, who wrote it?